What's up, everybody? One Fun Guy podcast coming at you live from the studio. So obviously, again, I'm by myself tonight. Um, Lologoeslive had an emergency come up, so she's not going to be able to make it. Like I said before, guys, when you do this kind of stuff, life happens sometimes. So I'm hanging out tonight. I didn't really have anything to talk about because all my stuff was going to be for her about her interest in podcasting and how she got started and her platform and everything else. So I'm going to save that for another date. We'll just reschedule. So we'll be back at some point. I don't know when. But I want to tell you guys about my new podcast, the Pod Cult, that I'm doing with my buddy Kelly. And we're basically, guys, talking about metal music, our lives, everything that's going on, our influences, things like that within the music scene, concerts we've been to, how it affects our daily lives, what we have going on. So I'm super stoked about that. So you can find us at the Pod Cult on Facebook and on Instagram. I am in the process of creating a YouTube channel, and I'm also in the process of creating a TikTok. So if you guys can support us, that would be awesome. The One Fun Guy podcast isn't going anywhere. I just wanted to do something else because of my love for music and the genre of hard rock and heavy metal. So I just thought it would make sense that I could, I would still talk about music on the One Fun Guy podcast when I have, musical guests on, but I thought it would be cool just to have its own separate entity. And so did Kelly. So we're super excited about that. So again, guys, tonight's show is going to be rescheduled. I don't know if I'm going to make this a podcast or not, or how long I'm going to be on. I really didn't have anything to talk about. And I obviously all my questions and conversation was going to be geared towards Lolo. So she's not on. She'll be back. You could follow her on YouTube as well. It's Lolo G. I'm on YouTube, One Fun Guy podcast. Obviously, it's where I'm at. If you guys can subscribe, that would be awesome. I'm just kind of hanging out tonight, guys. I did have a bunch of stuff planned for tomorrow's podcast with Kelly. Tonight's was going to be about a quick, about a 45-minute podcast. So I just thought I'd come on now to do a quick one. It wasn't obviously scheduled to be solo, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about that. So me being here right now gives me an opportunity to talk about the Pod Cult a little bit and, how I got started with that. It's kind of a unique story, but obviously, like I said, I've done my podcast with music people. I've had my cousin Chris on. We talked about our growing up with hard rock and heavy metal and, that kind of musical background and stuff. So it's kind of what I know, as far as that goes. Now, I'm not saying I don't like rap or I don't like country, or I don't like opera or classics or anything like that. I do, but I'm just a big fan of heavy metal. So that's how the Pod Cult started. So that's really cool. But if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, One Fun Guy podcast, I will be on tonight for a little bit, and then tomorrow night with Kelly for the Pod Cult. I really want to go on my own with that, but unfortunately, it's just like starting out anything else, guys, right? It's square one again. So all the momentum and all the stuff I built up with the One Fun Guy podcast, the Pod Cult is infancy. So it's basically me starting from zero again and trying to get eyes on that and grow that channel and get that growing to where we can go live and we have its own stuff. Because right now I don't have enough people on Facebook to do that. So every time we go live, it's under the One Fun Guy podcast moniker, which I don't want it to be. I want it to be its own separate thing. I've mentioned that before, and it's not fair to Kelly that we're using my stuff. He says he doesn't care, but it's not right. We're a team in this now. But as we do that, the One Fun Guy podcast will continue to grow. I have a guest lined up for next week and the following week as well. So that is super cool. So I'm stoked about that. But again, guys, life happens sometimes, right? We just kind of get, things happen. Jordan had something come up. Now Lolo had something come up. So things get in the way, guys, right? Like I have a scheduled date and time that I do my podcast, and they were like, both of them were like, I apologize. I know I was supposed to be there, but this came up or this came up. Can we reschedule? And it's sure, I get it, right? Things happen and you just kind of stay the course and do what you need to do. So with that being said, I don't know this if, I'll post this video to YouTube, but I don't really think it's going to be a quote unquote podcast just because I didn't really have any topic of conversation. Like I said, most of my stuff was geared, towards Lowell Goes Live and then tomorrow with the pod cult. So all my conversation is based on that. So I just wanted to come on tonight, guys. Thank you again for supporting the One Fun Guy podcast, being a part of the family, liking, sharing, subscribing, following, friend requesting, doing all the stuff. I'm across all the platforms, guys. So here on Facebook, over on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, One Fun Guy podcast. I will pop up. If you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be even better. That would mean the world to me. I'm trying to get to 300 by the end of the month, and I'm trying to get to 500 by the end of the year, which I think is obtainable. I just, again, put in the work as much as I can, get my stuff out there. I go live on Friday with my podcast, and I post a bunch of stuff throughout the week. But Friday nights or Sunday mornings are usually my go-tos for the podcast. So if something were to come up with one of my guests on those dates and times, we just have to reschedule because I don't have time during the week to do it otherwise. So with that being said, I just want to thank everybody again for the love and support. Thank you for your subscribing and following to the One Fun Guy podcast. Again, if you can go over to YouTube and subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And we will keep on going, and I will see you guys next week. I hope everybody has a good weekend. You will see me tomorrow night with the pod cult with Kelly. It's going to be a great episode. He posted a bunch of stuff already, so I'm super excited about that. So hopefully that gets up and running soon, and we can go from there. And then, that'll be its own entity. It doesn't have to fall under the One Fun Guy podcast umbrella. It'll be the pod cult on its own, but obviously I have to use this platform to go live because I don't have enough followers for the pod cult. But with that being said, guys, I just want to say have a good weekend. I will see you guys next week. And if you're going to follow the pod cult and tune in, that'll be tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, the pod cult. I'll see you guys then.